Thank you so much for clicking on this video. In this video, we're going to be looking at trigonometry. We'll be focusing on SOHCAHTOA and also Pythagoras theorem. And this is typically chapter 5 if you're following at Excel GCSE. Okay. This topic is mainly done in year 9 in some schools, but sometimes it's done in year 10. Okay. So today we'll be looking at 5 questions only, starting from grade 5 all the way to grade 9, and you will need your calculator. So you might need to go and get your calculator right now. Now, before we start, if you're looking for videos on other topics in maths, GCSE, year 9, year 7, primary 11 plus, A-level, you can go to YouTube and you just search Teacher Mr. Oino there, and you can get so many videos that you might find useful. Okay. In today's video, we are looking at Pythagoras and trigonometry, and every question I'll give you time to pause the video to do it, and then I'll run through it for you. Okay. So question 1 is easy, it's grade 6 question, and it's a 5-marker question. So I would like you to pause the video and try it. Pause the video and try question 1. Okay, so I hope that you've done this. Now I want to show you the answers, and if you got the answer correct, you might want to drag the video to the next question. So according to the mark scheme, the answer is basically 24.0 centimeters. So if you got that correct, then you can proceed to the next question. But if you didn't get that correct, then I'm going to run through it for you. Okay. Now, with a question like this, the first thing you want to do is to make a sketch of that right angle triangle first. And they said that the hypotenuse, which is the longest side opposite the right angle triangle, we have been told that this is 25 centimeters. And they've said that one of the short side, which is going to be the base or the height, is 7 centimeters. You can call that, you can make that this, and they wanted to ask, they're asking us to find the other side, which is basically this one here. Now, if I call this one A, and I call this one, if I call this one C, excuse me. Now, with Pythagoras theorem and in a right angle triangle, when you're using the letter A, B, and C, C is always the longest side, which is the hypotenuse, and then A and B can be swapped around. So we're going to be looking for B. So if you're looking for B, what you're going to need to do is to think about the formula first. To find C, we normally say C squared equals to A squared plus B squared. However, we are looking for B, which means that we will do C squared, but we're going to take away A squared, and that will give us B squared. Okay. Now our C is 25, so we square that, and our A is 7, we square that, and then we just subtract. So if you do 25 squared, you get 625. If you do 7 squared, you get 49. If you subtract them, you get 576. So this 576 is what B squared is. But I want B. So what do I need to do now? I will need to square root this 576. Because this is square, you have to do the opposite, square root it, and that will give you 24.0 centimeters. The question says to 1 decimal place. So if your answer is 24 and they want to 1 decimal place, you have to create a 0 there at the end to make it 1 decimal place. Okay. All right, so that's it. So that's that for that question. Now we're going to go to the next question. We're going to go to the next question. And the next question is question 2. So I'd like you to pause the video. This is grade 7 kind of. I would like you to pause the video and try question 2. Okay, so I hope that you pause the video and you tried question 2. Again, with this one, I want to show you the answer, and if you got it correct, you just want to proceed on the next question. So the answer is approximately 75.5 degrees. If you got it right, proceed on to the video, to the next question. If not, then you're going to look up here. All right, now, the first thing is this. It says a ladder that is 10 meters long. So this ladder you're seeing in the diagram here, pretend is a 10-meter long ladder and is leaning against the wall. The base of the ladder is 2.5 away from the wall. So if you think about this distance here from there to where the wall is directly, that is 2.5 meters. And the ladder itself, if you can visualize that, the ladder itself is basically 10 meters. All right? Because I've said so. Now, from the wall all the way to the basement here, Work out the angle between the ladder and the ground. Now, this height here, they didn't ask us, but what they're asking us to find this angle, the angle that the ladder is making with the basement, with the floor. That's what it says. Okay, so to do a question like this, the best thing you want to do is to draw a right angle triangle to represent it. So this is the ladder, and this is 10 meters. And the ladder is placed away from the wall directly, and the wall, the height of the ladder from the wall will be something like this. Okay, so this is the wall, and this is the ladder itself, and this is how far the ladder is from the wall. They say that the base of the ladder is 2.5 meters away from the wall, which is that, and this is the angle they're asking us to do to find. I'm going to call it angle theta, and that's a symbol. Now, before you do this, you need to label your triangle. We know that the longest side is always called H, and the side that is close to the angle you're looking for, we call that adjacent. So we're going to be using cosine, we're going to be using RAH, which is going to be the cosine of CAH. Now, how do we do this? We will say cos theta. Cos theta is equals to A over H. A is always at the top, and H is at the bottom. So this cos theta is going to be the adjacent. A is 2.5, is the adjacent side, and the hypotenuse is 10. And if you divide this, that's going to be 1 over 4. Yeah, that's going to be 1 over 4, which is 1/4. Now, to find the angle itself, you need to go to your calculator and press shift and then press cos, and that will give you something like that. Cos with -1 at the top. Then just put that 1/4 inside, and then press equal, and then change to decimal, and that should give you, right. So here they have this. Let me just double check. I think I've done something wrong. Actually, it's not, because 1/4 is the same as 0.25. Yes, it's exactly the same. So if you put this in the calculator, that should give approximately 75.5 degrees. Okay. All right, so now we will go to the next question. Now, this was a 6 marks question. If you got it correct, give yourself 6 marks. Now we go to question 3. We're going to go to question 3. And question 3 is a grade 8 question. I would like you to pause it and then try this. Pause this one and try it. Okay, so I hope that you've done that. If you've done it, I will show you the answers right now. I'll show you the answers right now. And if you've not, if you got it right, these are the answers. If you got them correct, you can just tick them, give yourself 8 marks, and then you proceed to the next question. But if you didn't get it, then I'm going to go over it for you. Okay. I'll go over it right now. So the first thing with a question like this is to make your sketch. It's a right angle triangle, because they've said this hypotenuse, so it's a right angle triangle. They've said that. Now AB, so if I put A there and I put B here, AB, they said is 12 centimeters. And then BC, they said is 5 centimeters. Now, that will not be correct. That will not be, because that's, it says, work out the AC, the hypotenuse. So the labeling is going to be different. So A to C is going to be the hypotenuse. That is A to C. And that's what we're looking for. That means that B will be here. Okay. So the AB, which is 12 centimeters, and then the BC is going to be this one here. You see this? So AB and then BC. So you're labeling it clockwise. You're going to label it clockwise. So we're looking for this. I can call that X. Now, using Pythagoras theorem, I know that if I do A squared, which is this, and I add B squared, which is this one, I should get C squared, which is that. Now, how do I find X? I will need to square this in my calculator, square that, then add them up. And that will give me 144 plus 25 is 169. And then to find X, I will need to square root this. I need to do the opposite, and that will give me 13 centimeters. All right? So AC is 13 centimeters. But because it says to one decimal place, I'm going to put that at 13.0. Okay? Now, question B says the size of angle ABC. Where the middle letter is where the angle is. Okay? So we're looking for, they said find the size of angle ABC. B is 90 degrees, so there's even nothing to do on that. That's just that. That's 90 degrees. And then the size of angle BAC. So this one here. So with A, first I'm going to label my triangle with the side that I know. I know that this is 13, so I can as well use anything that I like, but I want to keep to 12 and 5. The 5 is the opposite side, and the 12 is the adjacent. So I'm going to use tan, which is TOA. I'm going to use that to help me. So I'm going to say that the tan of the angle, which is what I'm looking for, I'm going to call it theta, is given by O, which is 5, over A, which is 12. And then to find the angle itself, in your calculator, press tan shift, and then plug in the 5 over 12, and then change the answer into decimal, and then round it to one decimal place. Okay? So this is how to do this question. So if you've done it correct, it should basically be 67.4 degrees. That's where it should be. Now I think there's a mistake in this because they're asking for angle ABC, but B is where the right angle triangle is. So there's a mistake on this. So this should be here, and then the other one should be 90 degrees. Okay, now let me just draw that. Maybe I'm the one who has made a mistake. Let me just double check. So if I do this, do that. So if I was to draw it, AC is the hypotenuse. So if I put A here and I put C here, that's going to be the longest side automatically. And B will automatically be here. So can you see whichever way you put it, B is going to be 90 degrees. So angle ABC, where B is going to be 90 degrees. So that must be 90 degrees, right? Okay, now we go to the next question, which is grade 4 question. Pause the video and try question 4. Okay, so I hope that you pause the video, try question 4. Again, question 4, I'll give you the answers. If the answers are correct, sometimes there's an error in the marking in the questions. You could just basically try them, like mark them if they're correct, and you agree. You can move on to the next question. If not, then you hang on, and then I'll go over it in a minute. Okay, so this is a ramp basically. So this ramp here is basically 20 meters, they said. And the angle with the horizontal, that angle is 15 degrees. Work out the vertical height of the ramp. So basically this, if you visualize it, okay? So we have this, and we have that, and we have this. This angle here is 15 degrees. And this is the right angle triangle, and this is 20 meters. So this is what they're looking for, the height, okay? Now, how do we get that? First, this angle they've given us, the side they're asking for is the opposite side, and we have the hypotenuse. So I'm going to be using sine to help me out. And I'm going to say that the sine of the angle 15 degrees is given by the opposite side, which is h, divided by the hypotenuse. Okay. Now to find h, you need to do the opposite here. This is divided by 20, so you're going to times by 20. So h is going to be 20 times by sine what? Sine 15 degrees in the calculator. And that will give you the h. Okay. Now, how do we find the horizontal distance? This is going to be the adjacent side, which is this one. To do this, you can use, you're going to use cosine to find the horizontal distance, which is this one here. Okay, so you're going to say cosine, that will mean that cos 15 degrees is given by the adjacent A over the hypotenuse, over the adjacent A over the hypotenuse 20. So now how do you find A? You do 20 times by cos 15 degrees. So 20 times by cos 15 degrees. And that will give you the answers to that. Okay. Now I show you the answers again. Hopefully they are correct. And if you just want to use that to mark them. Now we will go to question 4. Now we go to question 4 and question 5, and that's the last one we're doing. So I'd like you to pause the video and try question 5. Okay, so question 5. I hope you've done that. I want to show you the answers. Okay, so I hope that you've done that now. So question 5, I will show you the answers. And if you got it right, you can just move ahead. But if you got it wrong, then you'll pay attention as I run through it. These are the answers. Okay, so I hope that you're happy with that. Now I want to go over it quickly. So the first thing it says in triangle XYZ, y is 90. So I'm going to do the triangle. Y is 90. That means I'm going to put y there, and that's where the 90 is. XY is 10 centimeters, so I can put XY at the top. That is 10 centimeters. And YZ is 24 centimeters. Okay, like that. Work out the exact length of side XZ. This is it. So XZ, you can call that even C if you want. So C squared equals to A squared, this one, plus B squared. Okay. Now, how do you find C? In your calculator, you just do 24 squared times plus 10 squared, and you just square root that in one go, and do not change it to decimal because they say find the exact length. Do not change that to decimal. So if you've done it correct, the answer should be root 676, which if you square root, you get exactly 26 centimeters. Okay, you get exactly 26 centimeters. So this is going to be 26 centimeters exactly. Now find angle ZXY. X is where the angle is, and is this angle here. You can use anything together because we have the three sides. Okay, so we've done question 4. I would like you now to be able to do question 6. So you can use, you got the with the X, 10 is the adjacent, and this X and this 24 is the opposite, and this is the hypotenuse. So you can use any of the SOHCAHTOA to do it. Right. Now, question 6 says work out. It says calculate angle ZXY, which we've done. And then it says a square is drawn on each side of triangle XYZ. Each side. Work out the total area of the three squares. Now listen. The first square is going to go at the bottom. So this is what they mean. So that 24, they stretch it to form a square, basically. So it's going to be 24 centimeters times 24 centimeters, that one. And then this side also, they just stretch it to make a square. That's what they mean by that. Okay? So it's going to be 24 centimeters, 26 centimeters by 26 centimeters. Okay? And then this side also, they just stretch to make a square. You see this? So it's 10 by 10. So you do 10 squared, and you do 24 squared, and you do 26 squared, and you just add them. That is the area of all those three squares together. That's it. They didn't ask us to work out the area of the triangle, so we're not going to do that. They didn't. Now, if I show you the answers again, the answers, if the mark scheme is correct, then your answer should be 1352. All right, that's what the answer should be. Okay. Now, that's going to be the last question we are doing. So that was Pythagoras and trigonometry, starting all the way from grade 5 to grade 9. All right. Now, before you go, just remind you that if you're looking for other videos, you just go to Teacher Mr. Wino there in YouTube, and you can get other videos that you might find useful as well. All right. Otherwise, thank you so much. And that's going to be the end of this video.